Once upon a time, there was once a young monk who had a very bad temper. He would get angry at the slightest provocation and lash out at anyone who crossed him. He was unhappy and miserable, and he made everyone around him unhappy and miserable too. One day, he decided to go to the Buddha and ask for his advice. He hoped that the Buddha would give him some magic formula to calm his anger and make him peaceful. He approached the Buddha and bowed respectfully. "O enlightened one, please help me. I have a very bad temper and I cannot control it. I get angry at everything and everyone, and I cause a lot of trouble. How can I overcome my anger and become peaceful like you?" The Buddha looked at him with compassion and said, "My son, I have a simple solution for you. Every time you feel angry, just count to 10 before you say or do anything." The young monk was disappointed. He expected something more profound and miraculous from the Buddha. He thought that counting to 10 was too easy and childish. He doubted that it would work. But he did not dare to question the Buddha, so he thanked him and left. The next day, as he was walking in the monastery, he saw another monk who had accidentally stepped on his robe. He felt a surge of anger rising in his chest. He was about to shout at the other monk when he remembered the Buddha's advice. He decided to give it a try. He closed his eyes and counted to 10 slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He opened his eyes and looked at the other monk. He realized that the other monk had not stepped on his robe on purpose. It was just an accident. He also realized that shouting at him would not solve anything. It would only create more conflict and bad feelings. He felt his anger subsiding and a sense of calmness filling his mind. He smiled at the other monk and said, "I'm sorry, brother. I overreacted. Please forgive me." The other monk was surprised and touched by his apology. He smiled back and said, "No problem, brother, I'm sorry too. I should have been more careful." They hugged each other and parted as friends. The young monk felt a wave of joy and relief washing over him. He had never experienced such peace and happiness before. He realized that counting to 10 had worked wonders for him. He decided to practice it every time he felt angry. He continued to do so for many days, weeks, months, and years. Gradually, he became more patient, tolerant, kind, and compassionate. He stopped getting angry at trivial things and learned to forgive and forget. He became a source of joy and inspiration for everyone around him. He became one of the most respected and beloved monks in the monastery. He thanked the Buddha in his heart for giving him such a simple yet powerful solution to his problem. He realized that sometimes the simplest things are the most effective. He realized that peace is not something that comes from outside, but from within. He realized that he had found the true meaning of happiness in everyday life. Anger is a destructive emotion that can ruin our lives and relationships. It is better to control our anger and practice patience, tolerance, and forgiveness. By doing so, we can achieve peace and happiness within ourselves and spread it to others.